Alright, so this is going to be my initial impressions slash sort of unboxing of the Wooting 80HE. I'm sorry if this took forever to make. UPS actually lost my first Wooting. Wooting hooked me up with a second one, so thank you so much to Wooting. And yeah, let's get into this initial impressions. So before I start that, like and sub, use my codes in the description, all that stuff. But let's get into the keyboard. So this keyboard is a $200 TKL keyboard, or you can get it for $289 in the zinc aluminum colorway. This is using the Ghost colorway and the V2 linear switches. And actually, there's a few things I want to talk about in the box. So on the box it says "You with us, challenging the industry," and then throughout on the side it shows you like the side of the keyboard in all those little prints say Wooting. It also says it on the other side, and on the other side they made the keyboard out of the text Wooting. And when you open this up, I will not lie to you, I did take the keyboard out of the box already. You are greeted with your dust cover as well as your keyboard. As I said, I got this in the Ghost colorway. It's basically see-through, and we'll talk about that more in just a second. You also get your standard Wooting color cable. This one is in white. It feels just like the 60HE cable, obviously, but this keyboard is 8,000 hertz, so it has to be able to power 8,000 hertz, so I would not really recommend using any other cable. You also get a postcard in here which says, "Thank you for your support and contribution. If you ever need a favor, write it down here and send the postcard to us. We will be sure to make it happen." And then it says Wooting. You also get a little slip on the bottom that shows you how the switches are supposed to be in terms of north-south facing. And then in here you get a ton of different things. You get some extra additional keycaps. You also get some extra switches and a switch puller. You get 3 60-gram ones, and then you get one 45-gram or 40-gram. I forget exactly what they are. And then obviously you get your switch puller and some extra screws. Now here's the interesting thing. The keyboard does not adjust by itself like a flip out. It actually uses these rubber pieces, and this was a super good idea. They work a lot better in my opinion, and they feel great. They feel super cool. I just kind of rubbing it, as weird as that sounds. Anyway, yeah, so the bottom also says Wooting, made out of the Wooting logo. You get your quick start thing, but yeah, that's about what you get in the box, which is a lot actually for a keyboard. And alright, so this is going to be the Wootility V5. This is completely new. So yeah, I am just kind of seeing this also for the first time. I did set up my profile and everything like that, but that's the extent of it. I haven't really deep dived into it. You can only access this with the 80HE, I believe. And so the quick settings, obviously you have all your standard stuff. You have your rapid trigger, which I will turn on. I don't know why it says it's off. Tachyon mode, actuation point, all of your profiles, actuation point, visual feedback. You can see how far you've pressed a key down. Rapid trigger, select all keys, yes, enable rapid trigger. There we go. I don't know why it's not activating. There we go, it's there now. Continuous rapid trigger, yes, I do turn this on. Some people don't. There's a bunch of mixed things about that. And then the brightness here, so obviously with Tachyon mode you can only get 70% brightness, but I will show you the brightness at 100 real quick. I'll show you the spiral effect, and yes, it is extremely bright. You're going to have no problems with the brightness of this keyboard at any point. It's super bright at 100%. Even if you're not using Tachyon mode, 100% might be too bright. This is what it is at 70. Obviously you can't use the effects with Tachyon mode, but yeah, The reason it's locked at 70 is to protect, there used to be a loud buzzing, like a scratching noise, it's a interaction between the keyboard and your microphone, so it would make this big buzzing in the microphone, just because there's so much power. The light indicator, so this is another thing I'm going to talk about, the more interesting additions. There's no real use for this thing, but it's this little bar right here on the side of the keyboard. So what I have it set to is to see the actuation of my key, and yeah, so what you can do is set it to only go to the middle, as you can see here. You can also set it only to the end, and yeah, so that's basically what that is. But you can set this to a ton of different functions. There's like 20 things you can do with it. You can do music things with it, you can do all sorts of stuff. There's built-in effects, and then there's effects you can make of your own. You can also remap your keys, obviously. And here's one of the biggest additions, which I think is just a software update, but it's nice because you have the new switches: Rappy Snappy and Snappy Tappy. So in my opinion, the better one is Snappy Tappy. What Rappy Snappy is just like what's on the new Razer keyboards, which is whichever key is pressed down further is going to activate. But Snappy Tappy is kind of what you want. It's for counter strafing. It's last input. It's straight up the last input put in, and the reason for that is because when you press A and D, that's why I have them set, there's always going to be a buffer between when you press A and D, because you can't press two keys at once. So no matter how fast you're tapping, you're always going to get the last input. So yeah, that's really all this. Obviously you have your 8,000, 1,000, all of this stuff here. And yeah, obviously you can see all the keyboards here that they have. So that's really going to be the end of this video. Just going over my initial impressions of this keyboard. It seems extremely high quality, and I'll go more into depth about the switches and stuff like that at the next video, at the real review. So yeah.